if that's the case, that's going to be unlikely unless that probation is paid up front, or unless the restitution is paid up front. It's just going to be a claim.
6.5 years. When you guys,
Sir,
Washington County did not come get me from the MDOC for this case. What are you
Mr.
talking
Duncan,
about, man?
let the judge finish.
They're telling me I got to put $1,500 up out the gate. Otherwise, you
I
can't
don't
get the
know.
concert.
That's what was said. I didn't say that out the gate. I just said if it's going to be paid over time, that's what's going to happen. I mean, you can listen to me or not listen to me. Fight with me if you want. It doesn't matter to me. May 18th, 2022.
No, I'm not coming back, man. You can suck my motherfucking dick, man.
Mr. Duncan, stop talking, Mr. Duncan. Thank you, Your Honor.
Jeez, oh, that was enjoyable. All right, 14 a.m. stand in recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He's going to go back. You know that.
Yes.
He's going to be going back. So, by the way, let me have that one. I am going to, and since he is no longer here and doesn't want to go here, and given the comments that he's made to the court, I'm directing that his appearance on the 18th be in person. So it'll make it a little bit shorter trip to get him where he's probably going to end up.
So I was asked how you can get it. So if you have bond.
Hi, what's your name, please?
My name's Corey Duncan.
Mr. Duncan, oh, you ready? State of Michigan versus Corey Duncan, 22FB4032. I've received a petition requesting a court-appointed lawyer. I will sign that. You may proceed when you are ready, Mr. Ward.
Zachary Ward on behalf of Mr. Duncan. Your Honor, we have reviewed the complaint, would waive its reading and stand mute.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Blanche.
Jessica Blanche on behalf of people. Judge, you arraigned the co-defendant in this case on Monday, Asante Wright. This is a case where he shot his fiancee, then took her body down to Detroit and burned her car with her body in it. This defendant was involved in that. He's part of the caravan down to Detroit. So he's been charged with accessory after the fact and conspiracy. Right now, around that same time, he committed a felonious assault with a gun and also was in possession of ammo. He's in PCC status for that case currently. So we're asking for $1 million bond, no contact with Bashid Bristol Davis, Asante Wright, and home confinement on release. Thank you.
Okay, so he has tell me about the pending case.
He has a pending felonious assault. And
he's already been arraigned on?
He's already been arraigned on. It's set for preliminary exam on the 27th.
Except for exam on the 27th. So he's already had his PCC on that. Okay.
Yes.
What's the bond on that case?
I think it's like $200,000. But he was also picked up. The warrant on this case was written around the same time that was written. So so that bond had a lot to do with this case. And now this case has come and been sworn to.
Oh, I see. The bond, I think what you're saying is that the bond in the other file was set at a relatively high amount because it was already known that he was going to be charged in this case.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So I'd also like a high bond in this case in case something happens in that case.
Got it. Okay. But we're not looking at the statute about denying bond because he's not charged with murder and he wasn't on bond. These cases were both opened later.
Correct. That's why we're asking for $1 million instead of denying the bond.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ward.
Yes, Your Honor, and just for the record, I believe it's $250,000 in the other case.
Thank you,
Your Honor. We would submit that $1 million bond is essentially the same thing as denying bond. We'd be requesting a low cash bond without objection to a home confinement or a tether given the serious allegations. Ties to the community wise, Mr. Duncan was working prior to his arrest in the other case. He does plan to reside with his mother there. So he does have local ties to the community and understands the importance of attending all court dates.
When I arraigned Mr. Wright a few days ago, Mr. Duncan, I denied his bond. The reason that I denied bond for him is because under the laws of the state of Michigan, his case fit into one of a very few narrow sets of circumstances where the court can deny bond. Usually when people are charged as co-defendants and conspirators and accessories like you are, I set the same bond in both cases because the information that applies to one defendant usually applies in the same way to the other defendant as far as whether a person is a flight risk or a danger to the community. I can't do that in this case because, again, the right to deny bond, the court's right to deny bond is very limited. And even though you're charged as an accessory and a conspirator, your charges don't fit within the rules that would allow bond to be denied. So the prosecutor's office is seeking a bond that, as your lawyer said, will amount to the same as a denial of bond, seeking a bond in an amount that is so high that you really will not be able to post it under the circumstances as they appear to be now. So I am going to do that because as I said, I prefer to set the same bond for people that are charged as co-defendants, conspirators, accessories. I can't do that in this case. So I'm going to set a bond, a financial bond that is high enough that it will keep you in custody. Since what I'm trying to do is actually keep you in jail, I'm going to set it at the $1 million that was requested by the prosecutor's office. I don't think that that's unreasonable given the nature of the charges and the circumstances surrounding these events. And again, denying bond on the co-defendant. So that's a $1 million cash or surety bond. The probable cause conference will be on December 27th. That's Tuesday at 9 a.m. That will be someone from the corrections officers will make sure you appear for that. Your bond conditions are as follows: no illegal drugs, no what?
I have a prelim at that time for my other case, so I don't know.
Yep, it's okay.
Okay, all right.
It's okay. Everybody's in the same building. The jail will make sure you get everywhere you need to be.
All right.
Okay. No contact with Asante Wright. I need the name of the other person again, Miss Blanche. It's not in this file. Oh, your mic is off, friend.
Sorry, thank you, Judge. Bashid Bristol Davis.
Okay, thank you. So no contact with Asante Wright. No contact with Bashid Bristol Davis. No firearms, no drugs or alcohol. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. No criminal behavior. Do you have any questions, Mr. Duncan?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're all set, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Asante Wright.
And when you met with Miss Kleeman, you gave her a phone number. Is that correct?
You're my mom's, yeah.
All right. Is it okay with you if the court calls you on your mom's phone number?
Yeah.
Do you have an email address?
Not that I can remember for real. I'm sorry.
You got it now. Okay, so you might be able to update later.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is State of Michigan versus Asante Wright. 22 FB 1361. I have received a petition requesting a court-appointed lawyer. I will sign that. You may proceed when you're ready, Ms. Kleeman.
Thank you. Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Mr. Wright. And I did have the chance to meet with him and go over the complaint in this matter. He stands mute and waives the formal reading of the charges.
Go ahead when you're ready, Ms. Blanche.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant's charged with open murder and felony firearm. It's alleged that the defendant shot his fiancee, took her car, and rode around 3 days with her body decomposing in it. When it started to smell, he caravaned down to Detroit with Bashid Bristol Davis and Corey Duncan. He then set fire to her car with her body inside of it. Based on these allegations and charges and the fact that we also believe he's a flight risk, He was making plans to leave the state and made an appointment to get a passport on December 12th. We're asking for a no contact order with Corey Duncan and Bashid Bristol Davis. We're asking that you deny bond based on the serious nature of the charges. We believe he's a serious threat to the community and a flight risk. Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Kleeman.
Thank you. And he does have stable local housing at the address provided to the court, where he has lived on and off for the entire life with his grandmother. He is 22 years old. He has great family support through his mother, who he was able to provide us with contact information for. He is also trying to get himself enrolled in a GED program so that he can finish school. He is not currently on probation or parole, and we do realize this is an extremely serious allegation, so we understand that if the court sets a bond at all, it will be a significant cash component. We are asking the court not to deny bond outright, but rather to set a cash bond, and we have no objection to home confinement with GPS tether.
What about the contact, the no contact?
No objection to no contact either.
Okay, thank you. So the request to deny bond is made under the Michigan court rules. Specifically, Rule 6.106 regarding pretrial release, sub A states in general, at the defendant's arraignment on the complaint or warrant, the court must order that pending trial, the defendant be either held in custody as provided by sub rule B or released on bond. Sub rule B states the court may deny pretrial release to a defendant charged with murder or treason. Typically, this court denies bond when someone's charged with murder, primarily because the court rule says that that's permitted, and the default is a personal bond. Next choice is a bond with conditions or a financial component, and under very few circumstances has the legislature contemplated that the bond can be denied outright. So it's the opinion of this court, when a case fits within the legislature's contemplation of that unusual circumstance, that it's appropriate to deny bond. So I'm denying bond. No contact with the co-defendant. So Ms. Blanche, neither of those people are actually indicated as a co-defendant on the court filings. They're only listed in the bond form.
Correct.
For today, but just so you know if that's something that needs to be amended in the future.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No contact with Corey Duncan and no contact with Bashad Bristol Davis. No weapons, no illegal drugs. Do not leave the state of Michigan. Court date will be on December 27th at 9 a.m. over Zoom. Any questions? Do you have any questions, Mr. Wright?
No.
Okay, you're all set then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Magistrate Cameron. We've been a little late getting on today as they're doing some construction here in the courthouse, and we had to wait for a courtroom to get moving. But let's get moving. Can I have your name, please?
Yeah.
Yes, you, but you're on mute. So, yeah, ask the deputy to help you. We're about to find out.
I think it may be Mr. Duncan. I didn't see him in person before.
Okay. All right. Are you Mr. Duncan?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. We're here today on arraignment on felony charges, and as such, you're entitled to be represented by counsel. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I have a request to appoint counsel. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hang on for 1 second while I do a little paperwork. Okay, Ms. Kleeman, are you going to be appearing on behalf of Mr. Duncan?
Yes, I am Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Mr. Duncan, and I did have the chance to meet with him and go over the complaint in this matter. He stands mute and waives the formal reading of the charges.
All right. Mr. Emmons, I see you're on my screen. Would you put your appearance on the record, please?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jonathan Emmons on behalf of the people. Sorry for being so congested. Your Honor, I just wanted to say that we're here today for the arraignment. I have some bond recommendations if the court wants to hear them.
Well, that's where I want to go first.
Okay. Your Honor, thank you. So Mr. Duncan comes to us. He's charged with felonious assault. I think it's worth noting for the court to consider that my understanding is that he is a recent, how do I say, dischargee of parole as of April. The concern here is obviously the no contact and no go-to order. We are asking for a rather high cash bond in this matter, well, if court doesn't find that acceptable, a GPS tether with the hot zones.
Is that an either or a combination?
Well, I'm asking for the 500, and if the court decides that that's not warranted, I think anything less would need the GPS as well. The concern here is obviously, because he had a prior felony, he's not supposed to be in possession of a gun. The victim in this case reported that she did see him with a gun, along with threats to shoot up the house or do some kind of harm to that. And when the police pulled him over, they found they didn't find a firearm, I'll say that, but they did find several 9mm bullets in the vehicle, and thus the necessity of the charges, all things considered, there. So I think that the concern here is verified, and lots of concerns to the community as well as to the public regarding this particular defendant. Thank you.
Let me just ask you this: the complaint says that he was found with a gun.
I think if I'm not, hold on a second, let me just bring up the charging documents.
No, I can read it to you. It says the defendant did make an assault upon men with a dangerous weapon, to wit, a gun.
Yep. So the theory of the case is that he had the gun when he assaulted her, got in the car with the bullets, and then probably chucked the gun. So the gun, they pulled over the vehicle, stopped the vehicle, found the bullets in the car, or found 9mm bullets, but did not find a firearm.
Okay. All right. Ms. Kleeman, let me hear from you, please.
And Mr. Duncan does have stable local housing at the address provided to the court. He's lived there on and off for many years with his mother. He is also gainfully employed at a restaurant where he's been working for the past 2.5 months. He's very eager to get out of custody because he does want to keep that job. He is not currently on probation or parole. I did not see any other holds for him. I did discuss the no contact order as well as a no go to order with him. He stated that there is no issue with either of those. He can abide by both. He is asking the court to consider a PR bond. He doesn't believe that he will be able to post any sort of a cash bond, and he has no objection to a GPS tether.
Okay. Paul, when's our probable cause date?
The 15th.
When is it?
December 15th, 9 a.m.
Anything further, Mr. Emmons?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Kleeman, anything further?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Bond is going to be set at $250,000. In the event that Mr. Duncan is able to post that bond, he will be fitted with a tether, a GPS tether. And in the event that he is capable of posting that bond, he's not to have any contact with, and he is not to go to the location at or any of the properties on Carrot Way. Any questions?
That's 250,000, no 10%.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, That's 250,000, no 10%.
Yeah, that's what the bond is set at. Okay, the probable cause conference is going to take place on December 15th at 9 o'clock. Mr. Duncan, either Ms. Kleeman or someone from her office will be in touch with you before that time to help you through the process. Ms. Kleeman, anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Emmons, I think we're all set. Thank you.
Court calls the case of the People versus Alexander Axdorf. I got that right.
Honor Armstrong, Assistant Prosecutor on behalf of the people.
And Andrew Meyer on behalf of Alexander Axdorf.
It's not checked in. Bench warrant will issue for defendant's failure to appear. Bond will be set in the amount of $10,000 cash surety. That warrant will issue immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case of the People versus Corey Duncan.
Caitlin Kirby on behalf of the people.
Edward Drugas on behalf of Corey Duncan.
Mr. Duncan?
Yeah.
Okay. He's here.
Could you state your name, Mr. Duncan?
Corey Duncan.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right.
Today is the time and date set for PCC. We're looking to set this for a preliminary exam in person.
Your Honor, I would ask for the 27th instead of the 20th, please.
Preliminary examination will be set in person December 27th, 2022, 9 a.m. Who's my last? You use Schwartz. Okay. Before Judge Schwartz. And we'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll come see you, Corey.
All right. All right.